Well, welcome everybody to our webinar. My name is Joanne Shearer Parkin. I'm a registered dietitian and I hold a master's degree in nutrition and here to talk to you about fish oils. Is there a difference? And I'm also really proud and excited to welcome my co-presenter, Nikki Elsing, also registered dietitian and a certified wellness coach. And Nikki, can you say hi to everybody, please?
Of course. Thank you, Joanne. I'm excited to be here as well and to really help people figure out what in the world to pick and choose when we're looking at fish oils. And Joanne, I look back at our years together. I think about 25 now. We had a lot of years together in a cardiovascular specialty clinic where we talked a lot about fish oils. And then now also as LifeVantage consultants. And time flies, but when I look back, I think of how many fish oils, the good, the bad, and then really, really yucky ones we have eaten in our careers.
Yes, Nikki, we did because we were trying to evaluate all those fish oils so we could help our patients to know what to
Yes.
use for their cardiovascular health. And of course, fish oils are your primary source of omega-3 fatty acids. And really, that's really our focus today is to educate people about omega-3s and why they're so important. So exactly where do you find those healthy omega-3 fatty acids? Well, you have plant sources and you have animal sources. And of course, I think most of you are really probably more familiar with the animal sources, but you also can find omega-3s in plants. And it's that source of omega-3s that's called ALA. And your body actually does convert some of that ALA to EPA, which then your body converts that EPA to DHA. But it's just a slow process. You don't get a whole lot of those of the EPA and DHA. So that's why you need to eat more omega-3s in your diet from animal sources. But let's talk about the sources of ALA first, Nikki. Where do we find those?
Sure. When we're thinking about this, I like the top three in this group. You guys can see the 405% with the flax seeds, the chia seeds, 316%, and walnuts. And as I'm sitting here, it makes me think of yesterday. I just made granola and had all three of those things in that recipe. So it is possible to be
Yes.
able to get some great sources of ALA from plants. However, um, I know that in the years we've talked about this, those omega-3 fats from fish seems like that's really the place to go, or fish oils. And I know that you really like this top one. Me, not
Yes.
so much. You can
Yes.
you can
Yes.
have that one.
Yeah. Okay. So, Nikki, thank you. Yes, I omega-3s in fish are found, of course, primarily in your fatty fish, the sardines, at salmon, trout, wild caught tuna, and here's my favorite sardines that I buy, and it says wild caught sustainable and sardines and olive oil. Now, how many of you out there eat sardines every week? I do. I'm not your typical consumer. I know that, but I like them and I do eat them. Um, see tuna on there. Here's wild caught tuna. It's called Safe Catch. It's free of mercury. That's something I like to include in my diet. In fact, what's the recommendation? It's 3 servings a week. And also, if you look at this little chart here, you're going to see you've got the DHA listed and then EPA. And take note that there's about 2 to 3 times as much DHA in these fatty fish as there is of the EPA. We're going to talk more about that later. So when you think about the benefits and the health benefits of DHA and EPA, I kind of break it down into these two body organs, thinking about, DHA for the brain and brain health and EPA for the heart. But the health benefits go way beyond that too, don't they, Nikki? There's so many health benefits of these omega-3
Absolutely.
fatty acids.
Absolutely. And I think sometimes I feel like we're starting to get a little bit more where we realize that fats can be beneficial. I think of like avocados and that kind of thing.
Yes.
And then when we're talking about omega-3 fats, definitely beneficial. I mean, look at this list. Some of my favorites when I think about DHA was when I was pregnant. and I was growing this baby, right? And that's one of them on there. Supporting fetal brain development, DHA, helping skin, joint health, inflammation, mood, all kinds of cardiovascular benefits, just a tremendous amount of benefits. And so being able to figure out how to increase your intake of omega-3s, that's the trick.
That's the trick. And Nikki, when you say that you were taking omega-3 fatty acids high in DHA when you were pregnant, I think there's a good example of what that can do is that you have two children that are literally, they're scholars, they're academics, they're like bright kids. So Nikki's a good example of the importance of DHA.
I agree. Thank you. Thank you, Joanne.
They are. She's got some really smart kids. So what exactly, how much do we need every day of, these omega-3 fatty acids? For general health, about 500 milligrams a day. Heart disease, a little more, about 1,000 milligrams a day. Now, there's a problem. 95% of US adults and children do not meet this requirement or this suggested intake. And, especially for children, omega-3s are really important as well. And so the solution, of course, is that, of course, eat more fatty fish and then to supplement with a high quality fish oil. And I know that we know, Nikki, from working in the cardiovascular, that especially when where we're working in the Midwest, people just do not consume a fatty fish in their diet. That was not common at all. And so really people need to eat more. And there's also an issue here with those ratios of omega-6 and omega-3s, isn't there, Nikki?
Yeah, for sure. And I think when we look at, I think that's easy to see that we're deficient in it. I mean, when you're really thinking about how often people are consuming fish, and I'm not talking about those that are shaped in a fish stick or have all the breading and all of this, that doesn't count. That's putting us in this omega-6 category. So what does this mean? So omega-6 are more of a pro-inflammatory type of fatty acid, and omega-3s is an anti-inflammatory. And so what happens is, in an optimal diet, we're about 1-to-1. Joanne has a great way of describing it. They're both going down the road at the same time, taking the same track, and then all of a sudden that omega-6 just kind of butts right in front of there and sets up a roadblock, so your omega-3s can't get to where they need to go. And a traditional Western diet, you see that really big, bright red bar graph. That's traditionally how we are. We have way too many omega-6s, and they overpower those omega-3s. So where do those omega-6s come from? Processed food, vegetable oils. A lot of processed foods have vegetable oils all over in them, or maybe really high at the top of the ingredient list. So what do we do about it? The same thing Joanne just said a couple minutes ago. We need to consume more omega-3 fats, and we need to cut down on our processed foods.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly, Nikki. So we, of course, Nikki, like we said earlier, we counseled, advised our patients about fish oil supplements and how to choose a quality fish oil. And we really did have some concerns about those over-the-counter fish oils, and we were tasting them and found out that some of them are oxidized, they turn rancid, or they come, in the bottle rancid. That's not good, can cause stomach distress. And also, rancidity means that's oxidation of those fish oils. That's oxidative stress. Oxidative stress increases cardiovascular disease. So definitely not good. Also, it was very unclear if these were really pure fish oils and whether or not they had any contaminants with heavy metals or PCBs. So yeah, a lot of concerns, because I think people just, right, Nikki, kind of looking at cost, maybe just.
Yeah, well, and I think the key here too is when you're going to add something in, you want to add it for a benefit, not something that's going to be a contraindication. And when we look at these are concerns that are right there. And so when you're getting a supplement, some things like vitamin C or those types of things can be anything, right? You cannot spend a lot of money on that. But when you're looking at a fish oil, you want to get quality and have confidence in what you're using so that it's only doing good things. It's not causing more harm. And the world is full of fish oils, and it's very hard to tell what is what. So let's help them out. How do we fix this, and what do we look at? Well, we have a really cute little thing here. We were thinking, what do people really need to pay attention to when they're shopping for a fish oil capsule?
First of all, like, where is it sourced? Where does it come from? How is it made? In the process of making these fish oils, are they becoming damaged and oxidized? Third, can your body use it? Is it bioavailable? And of course, really important, how clean is it? Is it free of toxins and PCBs? So let's get started with one of our favorites. In fact, one that we really think is at the top of the line as far as high quality, and that is omega-3 from LifeVantage, sourced from wild-caught cold water cod in Pollack, processed under strict quality control measures, micro distillation to remove the toxins, highly bioavailable form that your body can use. Sourcing, Nikki, tell us about where these are sourced from.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you heard what kind of fish are in there, right? And a big thing that we want to make sure is we're always looking at LifeVantage and trying to make sure that we're being responsible, environmentally responsible as well. And so, two of the places that we're getting our products from is from Cod Marine and Alaska Omega. And one of my favorite things on this slide is that Marine Stewardship Council, the MSC third party certification. It's rated #1. You guys, when you have somebody else come into your establishment and that's the third party coming in to make sure that you have the things that you say you have in your product and you don't have the bad things in it, that's tremendous. And so when I look at this and think about even before we're getting it to be able to pick apart and analyze at our company, they're doing it there also. And so, Joanne talked about it being a fragile oil, right? It's a
Yes.
fragile oil that needs to be handled appropriately. So let's talk a little bit about, what they're doing for their refining process. You did a great job of pronouncing distillation. That is a tough one. And so this kind of gives a description of what does that mean? So Joanne, tell them a little bit about what it means.
Well, the molecular distillation.
There it is. Good
I
job.
did say that. Wow, it
I
removes
know.
environmental toxins, mercury, and other heavy metals. And it's really a gentle process that is performed in a vacuum. I'm trying to figure out how they do that. Anyway, it reduces the heat. So, those fragile omega-3s are not damaged in the process. So
I love that.
confidence there. So what's in our omega-3, Nikki? Can you tell us about the ingredients?
Yes, for sure. Well, and I think I just want to mention here, Joanne and I have been in LifeVantage for over 12 years, right? And
Yes.
when I look back at this, almost 13 actually now, when I look back and think of products that we've been looking at and researching and looking into, LifeVantage always knocks it out of the park. And I absolutely love that they pay a lot of attention to research, ingredients, sourcing, all of that, and our third-party validation and testing. And so, when we came out with this fish oil, it's just such a nice complement to what Joanne and I feel so strongly about. When we're looking at our Omega Plus, we have that total omega-3s. Remember, when we're looking at that, that's what you want to turn the bottle around and look. Joanne's got her bottle right there.
Yep. Yep.
Turn around the back and look at the breakdown of the EPA and DHA. And you will see, just like Joanne was saying when she talked about those lovely sardines that we all get to go try and eat, remember to purchase it in the olive oil, not in the other kind of oil. Just a side tip. But they also had, remember, 2 to 3 times more DHA than EPA. And that means that our fish oil capsule that we're talking about today has a similar ratio of what you find naturally, which is great. It's like naturally in food, right? So we love that. There's also something that Joanne's going to tell you a little bit about
Yeah.
this omega-7. And then we also have about,
Omega-7.
yeah,
Right.
800 international units of vitamin
Yes.
D3, which is always a winner as well. So let's hear it. Tell us about those omega-7s, Joanne.
Omega-7s. Yes. So when you look at that label, when it says omega-3, the omega plus, it's the plus, the extra vitamin D plus the omega-7. Now, you've probably never heard of omega-7 fatty acids. I had not until LifeVantage brought to market this omega supplement. And so I've done pretty deep and done a little bit of research and looking into the omega-7s. And I'm just really proud of LifeVantage and my company that they were so forward thinking
Mhm.
to add this way back, I think starting back maybe 7, 8 years ago. And now there's a whole ton of new research that has come out. I mean, literally hundreds and thousands of research studies on the health benefits of omega-7 fatty acids, monosaturated, a non-essential fatty acid, but it has multiple health benefits. Now, where do you find those omega-7s? Well, probably in foods that we don't really consume very much. The highest source is called sea buckthorn oil. And the second source would be macadamia nuts and nut oil. Then there's some in dairy products, some in avocado oil, fish, some in grass-fed beef, and a little bit in olive oil. So you do have some food sources, but your body can also make some omega-7s. So definitely would be a fatty acid and an oil that you would definitely want to get more in your diet. Why? Look at the
Wow.
benefits, Nikki. I
Yeah.
was just pretty amazed. Helps with healing the beta cells, the pancreas, the cells that produce the insulin. Keeps your blood pressure in a healthy range, boosts fat burning. That's fantastic. Eat fat to burn fat. How about that? Helps
Mm.
balance out the HDL, LDL cholesterol, strengthens your immune system, benefits for skin, hair, nails. It's just a super healthy fat, a super healthy oil.
So,
So it's
really when we see all sorry, we see all of those things that come together, um, that is crazy looking at that, and obviously it's an all-star, omega-7s.
yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So, yeah. So, in summary, I just want to say that Omega Plus from LifeVantage, it really does check all the boxes. It really does. It's sourced from wild caught cold water fish, processed under strict quality control measures. It's micro distillation to remove the toxins in a highly bioavailable form that your body can use, that Nikki was talking about earlier, just like the natural fish that you eat at your table every day. And in summary, I love this, and this is from Natalie Chevreau, PhD, registered dietitian. She was a past vice president of R&D at LifeVantage. And at one of our events, she said, Omega Plus from LifeVantage is the best omega-3 oil that you can find. And so Dr. Natalie Chevreau really put her stamp of approval on the Omega Plus from LifeVantage. So with that, I want to thank everybody for hopping on and joining us today. Really am happy to be here and to share with you and with Nikki Elsing. So thank you, Nikki, for being a part of the webinar today. And with that, we're going to sign off. So
Thanks,
bye-bye. Have
everyone.
a great day. Take care.